If you've watched any of my other videos, I've talked about two things in the past. One, niche.com, and two, top suburbs to live in. I recently found an article on niche.com that rates the top 10 neighborhoods to live in Austin. If you don't know what niche.com is, it's a website that I love using and recommend everyone uses to get neighborhood information as well as neighborhood and school ratings, etc. This is a two-part video and you are watching part one, so stay tuned for part two. Since there are literally 10 different neighborhoods that we are going to cover in these videos, I'm just going to give a very high-level overview of some highlights of each neighborhood that I know and that I really love. As we go through this video, we're going to start at 10, and in part two, we're going to work our way all the way down to the #1 neighborhood to live in Austin, according to niche.com. Are you ready? I'm ready. Hey guys, I'm Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Austin, Texas. I work with people from literally all over the world and all over the US who are looking to buy a home in Austin or sell a home in Austin. If you're thinking about making a move, my contact information is in the description below. You can also set up a direct one-on-one Zoom call with me. We can go over all your questions. Also remember to subscribe and hit the notification button so you can be the first to be notified every time I do a video like this one. So with that, let's begin. In looking through niche.com, I found this article which talks about the top 10 neighborhoods to live in Austin, Texas. I looked through the list and I'm very familiar with like 80% of the neighborhoods. So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to show you some footage from these neighborhoods. I'm going to share what I do know, and hopefully that will help you as a home buyer narrow in on neighborhoods that fit your lifestyle. Okay, starting from the bottom and working our way up. Neighborhood number 10 on niche.com's list is Rosedale. Rosedale is a very quaint, small, adorable little neighborhood that is located in central Austin. If we look here at a map, it is directly west of another neighborhood that I very much like, which is also on this list, called Hyde Park. A lot of this area in general, from Mopac to about 35, from 45th Street kind of to Koenig is pretty similar. In Rosedale, like a lot of these other neighborhoods, we tend to see these cute little cottage homes that were built in the 1930s and 40s. There's a lot of history there. There's so much color and character, and it's just got a lot of charm to it. A couple nights ago, I was actually at a party and I was talking to a gentleman who literally has grown up in Austin, and he spent the majority of his adult life in Rosedale. So I asked him a bunch of questions as somebody that had lived there long-term to see what he thought and what he liked and what he thinks other people outside of Austin should know about Rosedale. One of the first things he told me about is Ramsey Park. He said Ramsey Park is located in a kind of like a central location right there in the middle of Rosedale, and it's pretty walkable. He said it's not a huge park, but it's a really great gathering place for the community where tons of people go to either hang out, have a picnic. There's a pool there, so families will go, they'll take the kiddos, they'll go swimming, etc. Like I said, it's a small park, so it's kind of intimate, but it's got a really nice community feel, and it's a nice piece of nature right there in the middle of it all. Another thing that he really loved living in Rosedale, he said it is very diverse and a very open neighborhood. Everybody's welcome, and people from different cultures, walks of life, etc. are embraced. And I think that's something that's worth celebrating and mentioning if that's the type of neighborhood that you're looking for. Moving up on our list, we're going to number 9, which is the North Burnett neighborhood. So for this, I actually had to take a look on the map as to what exactly they qualify as North Burnett, because Burnett Road is kind of a long road that goes north and south, and I wasn't sure where the cutoff was. But for the purpose of this video, we're talking about the portion that is directly north of Highway 183 and just east of Mopac. This is the part of town where you can find the Domain. I have done a lot of other videos about the Domain because I love it, and I think people that come to Austin also love it. Basically, the Domain is an outdoor shopping center with all sorts of mixed use space. There are restaurants, bars, shopping, apartments, offices, etc. It's a great place to go walk around. There's multiple parks. It's just a really nice place to go hang out, people watch, there's coffee shops, etc. I could go on, but I'm not, because we're going to talk about the rest of this neighborhood. Burnett Road is actually one of the main arteries that moves north and south, which is not got a highway. And if you go a little bit further south on Burnett Road, you can find all sorts of cute, quirky little Austin style shops. There's independently owned restaurants and coffee shops. There's even more parks. And the general location of the neighborhood is fantastic because it's literally sitting right there on Mopac and Highway 183. So you've got really great access, of course, to the highways and then just a ton of stuff to do. I've been licensed in real estate since 2012, and that North Burnett Road neighborhood has changed by leaps and bounds in the last 11 years that I have been in real estate in Austin. It is completely unrecognizable. Tons of stuff to do and really good access. Moving on up, number 8 on our list is Old West Austin. Oh, you guys, Old West Austin is pure magic. It is such a cool part of town. I actually did an entire video about Old West Austin about a year ago. And I remember when we were making that video, it was just so exciting and it was so full of like joy because it's such a gorgeous, historical, interesting area in such a fantastic location. So if we are looking at Old West Austin here on the map, we can see that the boundaries are from Mopac. The southern portion is Enfield. It goes up North Lamar to West 35th Street. Old West Austin is kind of made up of a clump of 3 little neighborhoods: Enfield, Pemberton Heights, and Bryker Woods. Old West Austin is a historic district. The Old West Austin Historic District is also well known for the preservation of its mid-20th century homes. There's several things about Old West Austin that make it really wonderful. Of course, we've got the location. You are just north of downtown and it's a super quick drive, and I would say even walk or bike ride to anything you might want to do. There are so many big, gnarly trees, and there are tons of hills, not super big hills, but plenty of hills, and high enough so that you can have awesome views of downtown, portions of the hill country, and you're super close to the lake as well. Pretty much everything in Old West Austin is very stately. There are beautifully preserved older mansions from turn of the century. You can find some smaller bungalow type homes, but most of the homes in this area are pretty pricey, and they've been very well maintained, really nicely taken care of to, I would say, maintain the integrity of the neighborhood. One beautiful and amazing gem that's right there on the edge of Old West Austin is Peace Park. Peace Park is absolutely stunning. Number one, for the location and because of the fact that it is literally a public park. They recently gave the entire park a facelift, so it's very friendly to people that want to go on walks and hikes, bike rides, etc. When you go to Peace Park, there is a whole walking trail. Sometimes when I've got some free time or I can't sleep, you guys, sometimes I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning because my brain won't stop. If the sun is up, I'll go drive through this neighborhood just to take my mind off things, see some beautiful homes, some gorgeous scenery, and find regrounding. Huge fan of Old West Austin, but let's move on because we've already spent a lot of time on this particular neighborhood. Number 7 on the list of top places to live in Austin is the Hancock neighborhood. I just told you guys about Rosale, and Hancock is immediately to the east of Rosale, just west of 35. Hancock's a cute little spot. And I'm surprised it's on this list because it feels a little bit more commercial than anything else. But it's on here, so we're gonna talk about it, and it still has some really positive features. Because it's right on 35, of course it's got excellent access. I tend to see a lot of students live in this area because it is directly north of UT. One of the things that's really famous in Hancock is the Hancock HEB. I wanna say it's 24/7, or at least it used to be, and it's always super busy. There's always a ton of people, mostly college students, going in and out. And if you don't know what HEB is, it is our main grocery store in Central Texas, definitely Austin, and definitely in San Antonio. I don't think they have HEB in Dallas yet, but kind of the central Austin, San Antonio area. H-E-B is known for having really good produce, really great selections, really good prices. It's always clean, and I feel like every H-E-B I ever go to is always very, very busy. There's always one in like literally every neighborhood, and there just happens to be a very lively one here in Hancock. I don't know this for sure, but because Hancock is immediately north of UT, I'm going to say that the majority of the residents are renters. I don't see a lot of like single family homes there. There are some, but not a lot. It's a lot of like rental homes or small apartments and like that kind of setup. Neighborhood 6 on niche.com, best neighborhoods to live in Austin, is Upper Boggy Creek. In full transparency, guys, I didn't know this was a neighborhood. I had to look it up, and I'm still not totally sure how this constitutes as a neighborhood, because if you look it up here on the map, it's just an itty bitty little sliver of space. There are other neighborhoods around this Boggy Creek neighborhood, like Cherrywood, for instance, that are super, super popular, and I feel like that would make more sense to put into this list. But because it's on this list, we're gonna go on niche.com to help me along so I can share information about Upper Boggy Creek. So according to niche.com, this is rated an A+ for living, of course, because it's on the top 10 list to live in Austin. It has an A for public schools, B- for housing, A for being good for families, and it says A+ for nightlife. Usually we don't see neighborhoods that are good for families and have a good nightlife, but what do I know? I literally don't know very much about this neighborhood. So in full transparency, I'm honestly a little bit confused as to why this portion of town is in Austin. And if you know this neighborhood, help me out, leave a comment. Nicely tell me what I should know, because maybe I should be featuring Upper Boggy Creek in its own video. Okay, you guys, that's it. That is part 1 of the top 10 places to live in Austin, Texas. Like I said, I try to keep it high level. I do have independent videos about a lot of these neighborhoods and the neighborhoods that are going to come in part 2. If you're finding this helpful, leave a comment, make sure to subscribe and like this video so you can be the first to be notified every time I do a video like this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm Daphne Quay, your Boss Lady Realtor. Till next time, au revoir.